Wait a minute! Zoom in and enhance.
Oh, I have a bad feeling about this.
Hey everyone, welcome to the first installment in Tony Down Under News, and, well, as you can see, I come back home and I see this. A Buffy the Vampire Slayer revival series is in the works at Hulu. Sarah Michelle Gellar will return to star as Buffy, with Chloé Zhao directing the pilot. Now this sort of surprised me, as I was under the assumption that Sarah Michelle Gellar was done with Buffy and that she didn't want to touch it. But apparently from Deadline, Buffy is coming back. I have really mixed feelings about it because I really like Buffy, but I'm not a big fan of Chloé Zhao. Anyway, let's go to the article, shall we? Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot starring Sarah Michelle Gellar nears Hulu pilot order with Chloé Zhao directing. This sort of surprises me, like it really takes me by surprise. More than 2 decades after Buffy the Vampire Slayer ended its 7-season run, the beloved supernatural drama is eyeing a revival with a new chapter in the franchise. A follow-up series is nearing a pilot order from Hulu, with Sarah Michelle Gellar expected to star, reprising her signature role as Buffy Summers, source said. Oscar winner Chloé Zhao, a self-professed lifelong Buffy fan, is set to direct the pilot, written by Nora and Lila Zuckerman, the people behind Poker Face. Now, I am not particularly fond of Chloé Zhao because I watched Eternals, and I did not enjoy Eternals. However, some people like it, more power to you, but with that movie, she got an IMDb score of 6.3 and a Rotten Tomato score of 47%. That is rough. And a Metacritic of 52%. That is rough. Now, a year prior to Eternals, she did Nomadland. Now, I haven't seen this movie, but apparently people like it, so I'll have to take their word from it. I know a friend of mine wasn't really too keen on the film, but, maybe it might be good. I haven't checked it out. And she also did this movie, The Rider. Again, haven't seen it, don't know what it's about, but I'm sure it might be a good movie. I haven't seen these movies, but from what I've seen from Eternals, I am very skeptical of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I don't want her to screw it up because I really like Buffy. I really like her, and, it's a revival series without the creative head of Joss Whedon. Now, say what you will about Joss Whedon. However, he is the architect of Buffy. Having no Joss Whedon is like having a Firefly revival without Joss Whedon. It would be weird. Anyway, let's look at these other two, Nora and Lila Zuckerman. So, Lila Zuckerman, I'm assuming they're sisters or cousins or whatever. Now, I haven't seen much of their filmography, I suppose. I haven't seen Fringe, but I heard good things about it. Human Target, I don't know what that's about. And Haven, again, no idea what it's about. I've seen a couple of episodes of Suits. I really enjoyed it, but, it's a very much a episodic sort of schlocky lore show with an overarching story. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a show that I feel as though that it has some bright moments in it. I remember enjoying some of the episodes, but I honestly couldn't care less for it. It felt like filler in the entire MCU before the Disney Plus shows. And Prodigal Son, again, I really like the show. I watched the first 2 seasons, but I totally get why it didn't get a 3rd or 4th season. Because Prodigal Son, it sort of ended, and it was very much Fox cancelled it because Fox cancelled it. I really like the show, but again, that's just me. And Poker Face, again, I haven't seen the show, but I've heard good things about it. Nora, I guess, must be a relative sibling, like I said, worked pretty much on the same stuff as she did, so with the added benefit of a TV movie in 2008 and a TV show in 2006. No idea what these are, but, she has the same filmography as her sibling or cousin. The reboot hails from Buffy the Vampire Slayer Studio 20th television and Disney sibling Searchlight TV, where Zhao has been under a first look deal. Beyond the pilot order, I hear the reboot is starting a writer's room soon, a sign that Hulu and the studios have high expectations for the project's going to series. It is unclear yet whether other original Buffy cast members would return. That is considered likely. I mean, if you're gonna have Buffy, you're gonna have to bring in the supporting cast. It would be weird without them. Also, they better bring Angel back because, Angel ended on such an epic note. It was so good. But you gotta touch on what happened after that. You can't just say, oh yeah, that was its own thing and we're moving on. That would be really weird. I mean, that's like having this whole giant event be forgotten in 10 years. That would be so odd. Described as the next chapter in the Buffyverse, the new incarnation is executive produced by Geller, Zhao, Nora, and Lila Zuckerman, as well as the original series executive producer Gail Berman of the Jackal Group and Fran Kuzi and Kaz Kuzi via Sweet Bee. Also executive producing the pilot is Dolly Parton, whose company Sandollar was producer on the original. Okay, so they got the producers of the original, but again, that was how long ago? 20 years ago? So how would it be when you don't have the original creator in it? It says here, Buffy creator Joss Whedon, who also wrote the 1992 movie the series was based on, has no involvement in the reboot. He has not worked in Hollywood in any official capacity since facing a slew of misconduct allegations in 2021. Now, I totally get that. That is fair as to why a company does not hire Joss Whedon. But at the same time, Joss Whedon I will say it, he's an incredible talent when it comes to writing. And the fact that they're continuing on without him, it kind of sucks in terms of writing. I'm glad, if the allegations are true, then fuck him. He's terrible. But in terms of, how it is, I kind of hope that they would get at least some of the original writers from the original show to come back. At least the ones that did the top 10 standout episodes. Gives it a bit of writing continuity. If the Hulu pilot goes to series, it would be the third in the franchise, following Mothership Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which aired on the WB for 5 seasons from 1997 to 2001 before dramatically moving to UPN for 2 more, and spin-off Angel, which ran on the WB for 5 seasons, 1999 to 2004. Berman, Fran, and Kaz previously teamed up with 20th TV in 2018 for a potential Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot written by Midnight Texas creator Monica Ozenbren, on which Whedon was an executive producer. That project, whose lead was envisioned as a black woman, didn't move forward. Still, fans of the show have continued to lobby for a revival, their hopes fueled by a couple of high-profile cast reunions. Now, honestly, I kind of am glad that it didn't move forward, as Sarah Michelle Gellar owns Buffy. Her presence, her look, the way she acted, when you become an iconic character, there is no avoiding it. Sure, you have an iconic character like Doctor Who, but everyone's gonna have their Doctor Who. And it's just sort of when it comes to Buffy, that is a rare case of having multiple actors owning a role of Doctor Who. But when it comes to having Buffy, who essentially is an iconic character where Sarah Michelle Gellar played the role for so long. Like, she outshone the original the original movie, and that's totally cool. I totally get that. And when you have iconic characters, the actors sort of embody them, and it's just how it is. Parton indicated a year ago that a Buffy return was still in the works, saying in an interview that they're still working on that. They're thinking about bringing it back and revamping it. Gellar, who had been opposed to revisiting Buffy as recently as 2023, expressed openness to the idea in a December interview promoting her latest series, Dexter prequel series, Original Sin, on which she is a special guest star on. I'm watching Dexter Original Sin, and I quite like it. It's very much a return to basic sort of stuff. So if you weren't a big fan of, say, New Blood, or even the last couple of seasons of Dexter, like, Original Sin is very much a back to basics season 1 to 4 approach of the show, which is quite good. So that's my little review of Original Sin. It's funny. I always used to say no because it is in it's in its bubble and it's so perfect, she said. But watching Sex and the City and seeing Dexter and realizing there are ways to do it definitely does get your mind thinking. Well, maybe. Boy, I have really mixed feelings on this. I'm genuinely nervous because, we brought, like, when Star Trek Picard happened, I was excited for it because they brought back Jean-Luc Picard. Patrick Stewart returning to his iconic role. That was freaking awesome. But then the first 2 seasons happened, and I didn't check out the first season because I heard a lot of negative reviews from it, from a lot of, famous, influential people who are fans of Star Trek. And then I checked the first couple of episodes of season 2. I thought the first 2 episodes were enjoyable, but then the 3rd episode was kind of meh. And then I got on for Star Trek Picard season 3, and I loved it. I love season 3 of Picard. I did like a whole 10 episode review, so if you want to check that out, I'll leave a link to the playlist. But I'm very hesitant for actors to come back to roles now, because without the same writers or writers who respect the original, it's very hard to see if people will, gravitate to this new interpretation of their iconic character. As to whether a potential Buffy revisit has to be a prequel, she said, no, it could be anything. It's a universe, and it makes you realize that in this world, we need those heroes. I think more so than ever. And that point, I totally agree. In a world where you've got these morally grey heroes, and the heroes are now the villains, and the villains are technically the heroes, I think it's great to see where a hero is just a hero. Sure, she might go through some trials and tribulations. However, at the end of the day, she's still a core human being that is a good person. I feel as though that, especially now where they're making villains more empathetic and heroic, it sort of blurs the line, and I kind of like it when there is a good and evil sort of approach to things, especially nowadays. It's good to have a good and evil sort of tale. It's very basic, sure, but sometimes you need basic. According to sources, negotiations with Gellar for the Buffy reboot had started when she made the comments. Those negotiations are now in the final stages. Gellar earned a Golden Globe nomination for her role in the original series. Her credit also include the Paramount Plus series Wolfpack, which she starred in and executive produced CBS's The Crazy Ones opposite Robin Williams and the CW's Ringer. She is repped by CAA Linden Entertainment and Yorn Levine Bonds. Now, I don't know Wolfpack. Maybe it's good. Again, I don't really watch too much television nowadays, but when it comes to like revival or certain iconic franchises, I give them a watch. This marks the second high-profile series revival Berman is executive producing for 20th TV, along with Malcolm in the Middle for Disney+. Both are carved out of her overall deal at Sony Pictures TV. Additionally, 20th TV also a Scrubs reboot in the works at ABC. Now, Malcolm in the Middle, I totally think that might be interesting, but Scrubs, that last season was rough, and I don't know if I want another Scrubs season. I really enjoy Scrubs, but that last season was through the Jackal Group, Berman produced Wednesday, which ranks as Netflix's most popular English-language series of all time. The company's series credits also include Fox's John Hamm-led animated comedy Grimsburg and the Netflix limited series The Perfect Couple. Berman and the Jackal Group is reaped by Sam Fisher at Zifron. Look at them. Boy. Oh, so they are sisters. The Zuckerman sisters recently ran the hit Peacock series Poker Face for creator Ryan Johnson. Their Poker Face episode Escape from Shit Mountain won the Edgar Award for Best Teleplay from the Mystery Writers of America and the WGA for Best Comedy Episode. The Zuckermans are repped by UTA and Lisha Grossman. Okay, so they have some awards. Good on them. And hopefully it's not just bad. Like, I haven't checked out Poker Face, but, if they do good stuff, awesome. Zhao's third feature, Nomadland, won 3 Oscars, including Best Picture and Best Director. She co-wrote and directed Marvel Studios' 2021's Eternals. Most recently, she co-wrote and directed the upcoming movie Hamnet, starring Jessie Buckley and Paul Mescal. Zhao is repped by CAA. Okay, I mean, look, I gotta say, they've got some talent behind it. Maybe Zhao was hung up on the whole Eternals Marvel Studio grind, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't really have high hopes for it. I want it to be good. I really do, but when it comes to revivals now, I'm very cautious because I don't want them to ruin a franchise that I really love. And it sucks because I think Buffy the Vampire Slayer is a very, very unique franchise. But at its core, it was written by Joss Whedon. So the fact that we're not getting him back to write or produce is a bit odd. And I'm very hesitant as to where Buffy the Vampire Slayer will go. Now, granted, for all I know, it could be a 10 out of 10 show. And I'll sing its praises if Buffy the Vampire Slayer is fantastic. But I just do not have much faith in studios nowadays. And also, you run the risk of ruining a legacy now. But, hey, that's just my opinion. Anyway, thank you all for watching this, news video. And why don't you click the link below, subscribe and all that. That'd be great. And check out my Twitter, I haven't posted in a while, but, if people start following me and, liking my stuff, I'll freaking post more. I'll post more YouTube too. But anyway, this was just a nice little news update because I really like Buffy. And I don't want there to be, any bad Buffy stuff, because I think Buffy was a fantastic show, Angel was a fantastic show, and I don't want their legacies to be ruined with a terrible revival show. But anyway, I just want to say thank you all for watching. Take care and have a good one.